Hey fam, it is June 22nd, Saturday, and in the last video I made, I said that I wanted to start a new series called Biblical Flat Earth and UFO Disclosure. Um these two topics are very, very, very important to me. Uh, I've been a UFO believer since 1995 when I had my best encounter, my best sighting, and I've been a flat earther since 2015, November of 2015. So, uh, I guess I'm gonna start off and tell you guys a little bit about how I became a flat earther, and then we'll get into the UFO stuff. Um, so, November of 2015, I was deer hunting out in Pawnee, Oklahoma, and I shot a nice buck, and unfortunately, he went a long ways, and we had a rough recovery. And I got caught out in the rain, and needless to say, I got sick for like 3 days. So I haven't watched TV since 2003. So I was binge watching UFO videos on YouTube, just like everybody does, you know. Uh, and I came across a video called "The Biggest Lie Ever Told," Part One by Dave Murphy, and I thought it was going to be about UFOs that NASA, had covered up in their pictures, and they were hiding and whatnot. And man, was I wrong. That was not what it was about. And anyways, that's what started me down that rabbit hole. Uh, and I spent 4 months, uh, at least 5 to 6 hours a day, trying to debunk flat Earth. And when I found out that it was biblical, that there's over 200 verses in the Bible dealing with the topic, stationary, doesn't move, covered by a dome, uh, I stopped fighting it. I'm a flat earther now, and since then, uh, seen way, way, way more evidence, and just it's so compelling. And it's Pandora's box. Once you open it up, you can't unsee what you see, and that's the deal about flat Earth. That's the reason why there's a 99% retention rate. Is once you see it, you can't unsee it. You can't go back to the globe. Uh, so, anyways, uh, man, spent months trying to debunk it, just like everybody else. Found out that it was biblical. Failed. Started telling everybody. My son, I have a son. I actually have 4 sons and a daughter, and my second oldest son, me and him are really, really tight, and we talk conspiracies and metaphysics and spirituality and things of that nature all the time. That's a standard conversation for us. And when I first told him about flat Earth, he looked at me like I was crazy, and he had never done that before. And anyways, he was like 17 at the time, 16 at the time, something like that. And, I kept bringing it up, Gabe, you need to look at this. I keep seeing more evidence that just keeps blowing my mind. You need to look at this. And needless to say, after about 3 weeks of me just, check this out, check this out, check this out, he finally, he looked. And just like everybody else, done. So, anyways, that's how pretty much I became a flat earther. I talk to people about it all the time. I'm actually in the process of writing a book with images, bullet points, links to different websites and different YouTube videos. Uh, it's called Biblical Flat Earth, and actually Biblical Cosmology and the Watchers. Uh, there's a lot of images and a lot of bullet points. Most people's attention span isn't that long to sit there and read, 5 or 6 pages. And yeah, that's not happening. Pictures, a couple paragraphs, high in depth, high detailed pictures. Man, works wonders. Anyways, I use that all the time at work and talking to different people. Speaking of work, I'm a journeyman electrician, and anyways, I talk to different people all the time, different companies, different businesses, and it's amazing. 4 years ago, nobody knew anything about flat Earth. Now it's like, man, I've heard a little bit about it, and I meet people all the time. I'm starting to actually meet other people besides on the internet who are flat earthers. And this is in Stillwater, Oklahoma, so it's everywhere, and uh, that's part of the reason why we're going to talk about UFO disclosure. I think that's the reason why that's happening now, is because flat Earth is getting so big. Our numbers are so large. I mean, it's really, it's mind blowing. I mean, everybody knows about what's going on in YouTube with the censorship, and I just saw, it was either last night or this morning. I saw Celebrate Truth had a Newsweek cover and a little tag on a video, and it was like, wow, you ought to go check that out. It showed the Earth is round as a globe being aired up, but the flat Earth movement is growing, and I do have a concern that the Bible does say that in the end days that Christians will be persecuted, and in this country 60% of the flat earthers are Christians. So there is some concern there. That's part of the reason why I'm doing this video, though, is it doesn't matter. The truth has to come out no matter what it costs. It's the truth. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. And that's really starting to mean something to me in a way that it never has, and this truth has to be exposed. It has to come to light, because it's how many people have become Christians and come to Jesus in the last 4 years because of flat Earth. Lots. So, okay, enough about flat Earth right now. Hardcore flat earther. I can't wait to see where this goes, but it is kind of scary. To the UFO topic. And in 1995, I'd always had an interest in UFOs. My mom had seen one when I was a baby, driving from Virginia to Oklahoma, and she told me that story. And because of that, I was always fascinated by the topic, man. I remember Leonard Nimoy's In Search Of from way back in the day, and Sightings in the 90s. I watched all those shows. So, I've always had an interest. I've stayed on top of the subject throughout the years. And in 1995, though, that was a game changer. We saw a giant black triangle, no sound, huge. It was so big. I don't even know what to compare it to. It was so big. But it was a life-changing event, and it is one of the things that it accelerated me down this road. It is, I knew that we didn't have anything like that, and if we didn't, had to come from somebody else, somewhere else. So, and throughout my studies and everything, a long time ago, I stopped believing that they were aliens from Zeta Reticuli or Betelgeuse or some other star system trillions and trillions of miles away. The likelihood of us finding each other, yeah, not going to happen. The amount of fuel that would be required is astronomical, and everybody talks about 0-point energy and everything else. To be able to travel trillions of miles in matters of minutes, yeah, I don't know, but anyways, I knew a long time ago that there was other explanations than besides the traditional alien. And as my studies developed and I found out about the Watchers and the Nephilim and everything else, it went straight to, like what L.A. Marzulli and Tom Horn and those guys taught, the Watchers and the Nephilim. And that's what turned me on to Rob Skiba when I first came across him, And so for a very, very, very long time, I'd given up the idea that they were extraterrestrials. But today, Saturday, June 22nd, 98% of the population, if UFOs showed up, whether or not they're holograms, Project Bluebeam, or it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? The results are still the same. Ships show up over cities, and it's not going to matter anymore. You can talk to people about flat Earth until you're blue in the face, and they're UFOs, aliens, universe is what it is. And, it goes along with the Great Deception. The Great Deception is in full swing. And if you don't know that, then you're one of the people that is deceived. You know, I joke around at work because, I'm dealing with a different mentality. There's laborers there, skilled tradesmen, professionals, architects, everything. So, I have to come at different people in different ways. But one of the ways that, I do try to come across to individuals is to explain it in a way that they would understand. And that I show them videos and I talk to them about it, and they get it. It's real easy today to show them that NASA's lying. It's real easy to show people today the evidence that the Earth's flat. It's real easy today to show people evidence from the Book of Enoch about the Watchers and how it correlates with the rest of the books of the Bible. And yes, the Book of Enoch, as far as I'm concerned, is canon. It's always been a part of the Ethiopians' canon. So, anyways, enough said about that. When these UFOs do show up, and they're going to show up soon, and that they are pushing this so hard right now. I don't know. It could be 6 months, it could be 18 months, it could be. I'm not going with a lot longer. I'm going more with the sooner, as hard as they're pushing this, and how big the flat Earth movement's going. So, my hope is that, of course, people share this video and talk to people about it. Hey, look, this is a real issue that as flat earthers, we're going to have to deal with, especially as biblical flat earthers. What are you going to tell people about Jesus and about the true nature of reality when they see ships in the sky? How are you going to convince them that the Earth's flat? How are you going to convince them what the Word of God says? These are things that we're going to have to deal with, and we're going to have to deal with soon. So, it's time to get geared up with knowledge and understanding and talk to people. Don't be afraid to share your faith, to share what you see that's going on right now. The world is changing extremely fast. UFO disclosure is happening. People are finding out about flat Earth. They're finding out about God. These two things are in direct opposition of each other. Where are you going to be when they collide? How are you going to deal with it? These are questions that we got to ask. These are things that we got to talk about. These are things that we have to figure out. Anyways, this is episode 1 of Biblical Flat Earth and UFO Disclosure. Next time, we're going to talk a lot more about what's going on in the media with UFO disclosure, the people who they're talking about. And as I learn more about how to make videos and share other content, I will. Just going to have to give me time. Right now, I just want to get my voice heard and share with people what God has put on my heart to help people wake up, because we are in the Great Deception, and this thing is rolling out. What are you going to tell your friends and family when the UFOs show up? How are you going to deal with it? Because it is coming. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy your weekend. This is Corey Moneymaker, way down the rabbit hole. I'll have another video coming real soon. Anyways, have a good one. Later, fam.